The Imperial Hall didn't have a ceiling. Above us stretched a living sky of drifting constellations, glowing softly as thousands of alien eyes watched the center of the court. And that center was me. Every step I took across the polished floor triggered a quiet chime. Not welcoming, judging. The kind of sound that reminded you that you didn't belong here. Around the chamber stood the greatest warriors of the galaxy. Tall armored giants from the Karth Dominion. 6 armed duelists from the Valari clans. And towering warlords whose names had ended entire civilizations. Their armor displayed their victories like trophies, battle recordings, ranked medals, glowing insignias. Proof. Proof that they were legends. And then there was me. A human. No armor. No titles. No visible rank. Just a simple black jacket and the silent weight of thousands of suspicious eyes. A tall alien guard leaned toward the warrior beside him and spoke loudly enough for half the hall to hear. "Is that the human?" The other one laughed. "That's the Queen's bodyguard." More laughter spread through the chamber. To think the Queen of the Aurelians trusts that. I kept walking. Didn't react. Didn't speak. Because humans had learned a long time ago. The loudest warriors were rarely the most dangerous. At the far end of the hall, the Queen finally appeared. She stepped onto the throne platform, silver crown glowing beneath the artificial stars. The laughter slowly faded. One of the alien generals stepped forward and pointed at me. "Your Majesty," he said mockingly. "You bring this creature as protection." The hall waited. The Queen didn't look offended. She didn't even look surprised. Instead, she smiled. And said something that made the entire room go silent. "You have no idea what kind of warrior he is." The silence lasted exactly 3 seconds. Then the laughter returned. Louder this time. A massive warlord from the Karth Dominion stepped forward, his armored footsteps shaking the floor. His species was famous across the galaxy for one thing. They had never lost a duel. Ever. He looked down at me like someone inspecting a broken tool. "This fragile thing," he rumbled. "You expect us to believe it protects the Queen?" Another general added with a grin, "Humans barely survived their own planet." A third warrior crossed his arms. "I've crushed creatures stronger than him with one hand." The Queen watched them calmly. She didn't argue. She didn't defend me. She simply leaned back in her throne. Waiting. The Karth warlord turned toward me again. "Human," he said slowly. "Show us why the Queen trusts you." The court leaned forward. Thousands of eyes. Thousands of expectations. But I didn't move. Instead, I asked a simple question. "You're sure?" The warlord grinned. "Yes." The Queen spoke quietly from the throne. "General. I suggest caution." He ignored her. "Fight me." The hall erupted with excitement. A human against the strongest warrior in the galaxy. This would be over in seconds. I sighed. Because humans hated unnecessary violence. But sometimes. Lessons had to be taught. The duel circle activated. A glowing ring appeared on the floor as the court gathered closer. The Karth warlord cracked his armored knuckles. "I'll make this quick," he said. I stepped into the circle. Still wearing the same black jacket. No armor. No weapon. The crowd murmured. The warlord charged. Fast. Faster than most species could even track. But humans had evolved on a world where everything tried to kill them. Gravity. Predators. Storms. War. As the warlord swung his massive fist toward my head. I moved. Not fast. Just precise. His fist missed by centimeters. My hand tapped a small joint behind his armor plating. There was a sharp metallic crack. The giant froze. Confusion spread across his face. Then his legs gave out. The warlord collapsed to one knee. Gasps filled the chamber. What did he do? He didn't even strike. The warlord tried to stand again. He couldn't. One tiny nerve cluster. One perfect hit. That was all it took. I stepped back. The dual circle deactivated. And for the first time, the warriors of the galaxy stopped laughing. Whispers filled the Imperial Hall. That was luck. No human could defeat a Karth champion. Another warrior stepped forward. This one smaller. Faster. Deadlier. A Volari duelist. For glowing blades slid from his arms. I'll test him next. The queen closed her eyes for a moment. Almost disappointed. The Volari moved instantly. For blades flashing like lightning. Most beings would die before seeing the first strike. But humans weren't most beings. We learned to survive impossible situations. The first blade came for my neck. I leaned. The second for my ribs. Blocked. The third. Disarmed. The fourth. Stopped an inch from my throat. My hand held the Volari warrior's arm. The entire hall froze. Because no one had ever stopped a Volari strike. Ever. I looked at him calmly. You rely on speed, I said. But speed means nothing if someone can predict you. Then I released him. The Volari slowly stepped back. And suddenly, the court understood something terrifying. The human wasn't lucky. The human was controlled. Precise. Calculated. Dangerous. The silence in the hall felt heavier now. No one laughed anymore. The generals stared at me like they were seeing something impossible. Finally, the Karth warlord forced himself back to his feet. How? He demanded. How can a human do this? The queen finally stood. Her voice echoed across the chamber. Because humans evolved differently than the rest of us. She walked down the throne steps slowly. Most species in this galaxy evolved in safe environments. She pointed toward the warriors. Protected worlds. Predictable predators. Predictable predators. Stable ecosystems. Then she pointed toward me. Humans evolved on chaos. Storms. Earthquakes. Deadly oceans. Predators stronger than themselves. And worst of all, other humans. They learned to survive anything, the queen said. They learned to adapt. She looked around the court. You train for war. Humans were born into it. No one argued. Because now they understood. The queen didn't choose a human bodyguard because he looked strong. She chose him because he was the most dangerous creature in the room. The court remained silent. Thousands of warriors stood frozen. Not because they were afraid. But because they were thinking. Recalculating everything they believed about humans. The Volari duelist finally spoke. So, the human is your champion? The queen smiled. No. The warrior frowned. Then what is he? The queen looked at me. Then back at the court. He is my bodyguard. Murmurs spread again. If he is only a guard, the Karth warlord said slowly. Then what do human warriors look like? For the first time. I smiled. Because that was the real secret. I wasn't the strongest human. Not even close. I wasn't Earth's greatest soldier. Or its deadliest fighter. I was simply the one assigned to protect the queen. And if the galaxy feared me, they had no idea what humanity was truly capable of. The queen turned back to her throne. The court stood silent. And somewhere across the galaxy, humanity was just getting started.